One of the principles I've always gone by, education is a cumulative experience. The more diverse the experience, the better you're going to be at whatever you eventually did. When I was starting out, I hadn't any notion or expectation that I was going to save millions of acres. My name is Huey Johnson, and I'm a land saver. I want to tell you how I got here and what I've done with my life, hoping it'll be of interest and you might follow a similar path. I was raised in a very small rural community, close to nature, loving parents who made a point of my being involved a lot with nature as a very small child. Eventually, I worked my way through school, colleges, graduate school, and ended up in debt getting out of college, happy but broke and thinking I owe that person I borrowed the money from, and I had to do something to repay it. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be working, I might as well get something that pays very well. I went to work for Union Carbide, a large chemical company, selling plastics. One evening, while waiting to meet my friends, I was sitting in a bar and I picked up a martini glass and I couldn't hold my hand steady. And I said, boy, this isn't good. And I realized that I had been working so hard, 7 days a week, that I had not bothered to get out in nature at all, on anything green. And about then, one of my bosses I liked a lot, committed suicide. And we were working under tremendous pressure, and he caved in. And I realized that I didn't want that to happen to me. And so I decided to resign, and I bought an airline ticket around the world. While I was traveling the world, I thought about history and time, whether it was Sahara Desert, where there was one time vineyards, there were now nothing green for 200 miles, just sand. To realize that such a thing could occur. And concluding that humanity had suffered a lot because it had not taken care of its resources. And the trouble is, I realized at the time, we're doing the same thing. That trip I took around the world alone was more important in my total education than the college was. I get home, and I was just wandering around the West and hunting and fishing and skiing and mountain climbing. And I decided I was going to go to graduate school, and I was going to get a job somehow in the environmental field, except there weren't any. I knew what I wanted to do, but I hadn't had a focus that would give me some way of having an impact. And seeing the Nature Conservancy job description, I suddenly realized that's my job. I called immediately when I saw the thing and told them I was a good salesman and I had a degree in biology and so on, and they quickly had me fly there, interview me, and I was on my way. Got my wife my old car, and we loaded whatever stuff we had, and dead broke, took off for the West. We arrived in San Francisco. We really didn't have much money to rent hotels, and they let you sleep on the beach in those days. I drove out to Muir Beach, so we got our 2 sleeping bags out and spent a couple of wonderful days looking out to sea. See the birds and the tide change, and it was a wonderful experience. I'd never really been around an ocean before. And there's a mystical side effect here. They're playing on both sides of the beach and the beach itself. I eventually worked to save. I became a professional land saver.
going out on that land later and just feeling the vibrations, the beauty and permanence of it, and knowing that this is going to last is really wonderful. As I look out over Blaenus Lagoon, I'm reminded of the hopelessness it once faced. Everybody was sure they were going to dredge around the lagoon, pile the mud in the center of the lagoon, let it dry out and build hotels there. And they were going to have boats circling it. You have to persist. You gotta believe enough that you hang in there when everybody else says, no, it won't work.
This is Marincello, a beautiful open space adjacent to the Golden Gate Bridge and next to San Francisco. It's the crown jewel of the coastal properties that we saved. The struggle was with an oil company, very powerful, and they were in business with a developer, one of the premier developers in the country. And the developer had lined up the county board of supervisors in favor of his project, and the Chamber of Commerce and others, newspaper was in favor of the project. And it looked pretty dark.
This space was slated to become a suburb of San Francisco, complete with 20 skyscrapers. In order to save a piece of land, you had to fight for it. I've been accused of manipulating. That's why I'm a salesman. Selling the idea of maintaining permanent beauty forever, so your grandkids can enjoy what you're enjoying, and it works. Marincello has to be appreciated as an island of grandeur in a place that would be ugly as sin if they ever developed it. And that it's there and it will be there forever now is an inspiring thing.
I started out thinking I wanted to be wealthy and went to work to be wealthy. In the end, found that I didn't really care that much. And now I am, at the end, a happy person, realizing that just making money wasn't a thing that made me happy in life. And I've gone on and been very fortunate doing exactly what I want to do, saving land.
If you believe enough, it's something that you love enough that you'll go to great lengths to defend it or advance it. An idea can do that for you, and it surely did for me on land saving and the environment. Over the course of my life and career, I've been able to save much of the coastline between the bridge, 80 miles north. And I am not done yet.